Hey there, you guys. How's it going? It's Tuesday, and I know I am going live a little bit early, but my daughter has a concert. I still have to make dinner. I'm a busy woman. But in today's video, I want to talk to you about saving Jack. How many times have you carved pumpkins, maybe with the kids, and not even a week later, Jack is rotting away, right? And sure, there's alternatives. If you go to the Google, they might tell you to use bleach or some other type of chemical to help preserve your jack-o'-lantern. But when you're trying to live a better, cleaner life, even if it's going to be outside, you don't want to be messing around with bleach or chemicals. So today, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make a pumpkin preserver spray, all natural, beautiful, easy, simple to do. And we're also going to talk about some ideas on what to do with those pumpkin seeds, right? I'm curious, do you guys like pumpkin seeds? Do you eat them? Do you throw them out? I like them once in a while, maybe once a year about Halloween. That's about the only time I really have pumpkin seeds, but you usually get quite a bit of them, so we might as well use them. Also, I am curious as well to know how many of you tap into your creativity. I was listening to an awesome podcast today. It was Marie Forleo, and she was interviewing Chase Jarvis, I think is his name. And they were talking about people tapping into their creativity. And this past weekend, I had the opportunity to go to a workshop where a friend of mine taught us how to make these really cool pumpkin diffusers. And I gotta be honest, I am not always the most creative person. I feel like I'm not the most creative person, but I do love getting into a creative space. I love making my own cards. I like scrapbooking. I like getting creative in the kitchen. And this weekend, I wasn't gonna make a diffuser pumpkin because I'm like, mine's not gonna come out that good. But I gotta tell you, there was probably a dozen people there, and we all had the same materials. Everybody got to pick a pumpkin. We had moss, we had succulents, and we had essential oils. Not two of those pumpkin succulent diffusers were the same. Everybody got into their zone, and they made these amazing pumpkin diffusers. And it was just, everybody had fun, right? Because you get into your zone, you're creative. But I want to share something with you because there was a couple. I like my statistics, and I was listening to the radio the other day, and they said by 2030 that depression is projected to be the #1 killer. That's awful. That's awful. And if you need help, I encourage everybody, if you feel like you're falling down this downward spiral, please ask for help. Reach out for help. There is a lot of places available if you need to call your primary care doctor and get into counseling, but please reach out to help. But I have found in talking to many other women that oftentimes we get so caught up. We're so caught up with life and with the job and with the kids and with the house that we're not stepping back to get into our creative zone. And a couple things that I want to share from this podcast that I learned was that life is full. We know it. Life is full. It's not always pretty, right? We have good things. We have bad things. We have challenges. I know my family for October, it's been extremely challenging. We've had challenge after challenge, it seems like. But we're coming up with some creative ideas, and we're trying to overcome those challenges. It's not always easy, right? However, there are 3 things about creativity that I want to share with you that I learned from this podcast. Number 1, every person is creative. So it doesn't matter. And a lot of people think that creativity has to do with art. And it doesn't necessarily have to be art. If you like art, that's great. Maybe it's playing the piano. I recently started taking music lessons so I can learn to play the piano. Maybe it's getting creative in the kitchen. Maybe you are a creative problem solver at work. Whatever that creativity, this leads us to number 2. When you start using creativity is a muscle. And Maya Angelou said, creativity is a resource. The more you use, the more you have. Which leads to number 3. Creativity is a superpower, you guys. So the more that you create, you express yourself, we connect to our intuition and our understanding. We have this inner knowing when we create, and that also gives us the thoughts, the idea that, you know what, we can create anything in our lives, and we can create happy lives that we love to live if we tap into our creativity. So I'm encouraging all of you guys to think about something that you enjoy, or how can you be creative in your life. I would love to hear it. Share it with me. Find something. Some of us, we're not always blessed with a job where we can show our creativity. But if you are, awesome. If not, find something that you can do that can spark the creativity in your life, and just let me know how it goes, because once we start embarking on creativity, the whole world's our oyster, right? So just like me, I didn't think I could do a very pretty pumpkin diffuser, but I did it, and it was fun, and it made me feel good, and I accomplished something. And you know what? Now I'm already planning my next DIY project. But today, what I'm going to show you is, let's talk about saving Jack, right? So we want to save Jack. Oftentimes when we carve our pumpkins for jack-o'-lanterns, they're like moldy or, dying, or, sorry about that, melting away before even Halloween, right? So let me share with you an easy way to preserve your pumpkins. And I'm going to use my essential oils, you know it. So you can do this a couple different ways. You can grab a 2-ounce spray bottle, and you can add 4 drops of peppermint essential oil and 6 drops of thieves essential oil with some water, and use that. Or we have these handy dandy thieves spray bottles already made into a thieves spray. So all I'm going to do is add some peppermint to my thieves spray, because peppermint and thieves together work amazing to help keep Jack longer, right? So, and what you're going to do is you're just going to spray it on the outside and the inside of your jack-o'-lantern. So that's it. Just wipe it on the inside and the outside. And this was a cool thing. I learned it at the workshop, the DIY workshop this weekend. When we did our succulent pumpkins, we cleaned the pumpkin with thieves spray, thieves and peppermint. So there you go. You do this before you start carving it. So you cut off the top, clean out the guts, and then you're going to spray your thieves and your peppermint on the inside and outside, and voila, your jack-o'-lantern will last longer. And you're not using bleach or any chemicals. So that's a win-win. Now, what do we do with all these pumpkin seeds? Now, I have backyard chickens, and if you have backyard chickens, did you know chickens love pumpkin seeds and they love pumpkins? So FYI, if you do have free-ranging chickens, you don't want to put the jack-o'-lanterns in their reach, because they will eat them. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I have my pumpkin seeds, and I'm going to I have some pumpkin seeds set aside with the inside of the pumpkin. I'm going to feed my chickens. And then if you get your seeds, the recipe I'm going to share with you for pumpkin seeds calls for 3 cups of pumpkin seeds. And then in a bowl, what you're going to add is you're going to do a teaspoon of honey, and you're going to roast these in the oven, and they're going to be delicious. So teaspoon of honey. You are going to also put in here a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm going to throw a teaspoon of cinnamon, and you are going to use 3 tablespoons of cooking oil, whatever your cooking oil is of choice is, okay? And 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to just do some pinches here. And you are going to then use 3 drops of thieves essential oil. I have the Vitality because it's labeled for internal use. And you're going to stir this around, and you are going to coat your pumpkin seeds with this, and then bake these in the oven. And another cool idea, you could use your pumpkin seeds and mix them with popcorn to make your own Cracker Jack recipe. Doesn't that sound delish? So that's as easy as it is to make pumpkin seeds. So I hope that you found value in today's video. If you did, share it out with a friend. And if you like DIY hacks, check out my blog this week at bethoss.com, and I'll post a link below this video where I share some other fall DIYs for you. And I'm going to share with you how to get these oils into your home because there's kind of a big special going on. So you're going to want to check out the blog. Thanks for dropping in with me, and we'll see you next week.